Hello everyone, lecture number 3. So today in this lesson we will learn about the form and the extra markup elements. So let's add h1 tag and write form in HTML in the h1 tag. So let's create a form. So what is form? Form element is create used to collect user input, and form can contain various type of input elements such as tags, radio button, checkboxes, and more. Once the user fill out the form and submit it, the data can be sent to a server for processing. But here we are not creating the server, but just we are creating a form, and then we fill the inputs field and then submit it. And here we don't need to worry about where the data will be going. But let's assume that whenever you submit your form, the data will be submitted on your server. Forms are essential in web development for gathering user data such as personal information, preference, and other inputs, like user registration and login form, survey and feedback, product orders, and contact form. So here I created an input field. So input or type attribute equal to text means a text input field where user can type information, and here is the multiple types available like email. This will restrict us that we have to write the email in the field. So the second one is password. So like password, it is a secure, and password must be secure and nobody can see your password, right? So for this we have a type attribute, and in the type we have a value password. Next one is file. So in this file we will pick file from our browser, from our desktop, from our computer. Like I pick up the submit.html file. You can pick any file. Here is the next type, which is hidden. So hidden type value is it doesn't display anything. There are multiple type values available. You can use anyone you want to, but I will use here type equal to text. Let's add the label. The label element is used to define a label for an element from control, and labels are important for accessibility because they help users, including those using screen readers, understand the purpose of a form control. So I add the second label, which is email, and I will add the input type email. Let's So I want to add a break line. So For the break line, we use the br tag. So I added two br. So I want to space between name and email. And let's add the input type submit. So submit type is used when we add fill the input fields name and email, and when we click on the submit button, then it will be submitted. So for what is mean by submit? So when we submit our uh, form, then it will be submitted and our data will be served and will be saved in the server. But right now it is not saving because we are not using any server here, but actually just giving you an example. And in the labels name and email, what we have right in the input fields name email, and when we click on the submit, then it will be submitted. So here is another attribute which is called action. So action attribute is uh, when after submitted, then where we want to go. And if we want to go another page, then I will be use here /submit.html. I already had created this submit.html file. So here in the p tag, I added the submitted. So when I let's close this first, and let's fill the input fields name here, whatever you want to add. And in the label, we have a one attribute which we call for attribute, uh, or in the input we have a one attribute which is ID attribute. So they have a link with together. Just like for attribute in the label tag should match the ID of the form control it is labeled. This association links the label to a specific input field. If you don't use a for attribute, the label will not be explicitly associated with any form control. This is less preferred or it does not provide the same level of accessibility, right? The placeholder attribute is used with form elements such as input and text area. So we are using in input. So the placeholder text is visible until the user start typing in the field. Once the user's input text, the placeholder disappears. So the placeholder text serves as a guide or hint to inform user what to enter in the input field. It is especially useful in forms to clarify the type of data expected, such as enter your email or name or email. Just like here is another input element with type radio. Is used to create radio button in HTML, and radio button allow users to select one option from a predefined set of options. In the input field, we also have another attribute which is value. The value attribute in a radio button is used to define the specific value that will be submitted when the form is sent and that particular radio button is selected. So, for example, here in mostly form, there is an option about gender and male and female, and you selected the one, just like I selected the female. So these kinds of value must be stored on the server side, right? Right now we are not using any. So let's add the radio button. Let's write comment which is radio button, and next add the label. In the label, I'm writing first, and let's add the another label which is second. Let's add the attribute which is value. Value must be first, and whatever you want to add, you can add this, but I will use here first. So I will copy the value first and then paste it in the next input field. But here I want to change the value, which is second, because this one is my second radio button. So here is my first and second radio button created. Let's break the line, and then so the input element with the type checkbox is used to create checkbox button in HTML. Checkboxes allow users to select one or more options from a set of choices. Unlike radio button, checkboxes are not manually exclusive, meaning multiple checkboxes in a group can be selected at the same time. So I write here input a type checkbox, and I also add the value, which is apple, and then I will add the label. In the label, I will write the apple. I will copy these two lines and then paste it here. So let's change the values of checkbox. I will add the value banana, and next in the label I will also change the text apple to banana, like that. So here is checkbox, here is radio buttons. Let's understand the next element. The input element with type range is used to create a slider controller in HTML, allowing user to select a numeric value from within a specific range. The slider is usually represented as a draggable handle that user can move along with a track, like that. So here we also add the attributes, which is min. So we find the minimum value of the range 0. So let's understand the extra markup elements, which is ID and class, and there are also many. But I add the p tag. In the p tag, in the opening p tag, we add the attribute, which is ID. So the ID attribute provides a unique identifier for an HTML element. No two elements in the same HTML document should have the same ID. So ID is often used to apply specific styles to an element via CSS or to manipulate the element with JavaScript. Another attribute is class attribute. So the class attribute is used to classify or group multiple elements. Unlike ID, multiple elements can share the same class. So class is widely used for applying the same style to multiple elements or for selecting groups of elements in JavaScript. Here is also block level element. So block level element take up the entire width of its parent container from the left edge to the right edge regardless of the content inside it. By default, both block-level elements start on a new line, causing the content that follow to appear below it. Block-level element can contain other block-level elements as well as inline element. Common block-level elements is div, speed tag, h1 tag to h3, ul, ol, li, and ul and ol. So here another is inline element. So inline element occupy only the width of their content. Inline element only take up as much width as their content require. Do not start a new line. Inline element do not cause a line break content before and after an inline element appear as the same line. can contain only other inline elements or text. Inline elements generally do not contain block level elements. The commonly inline elements are span, a tag, image tags, stroke, emphasize, italic, bold, and sub, sub, and br tags. The next tag is iframe tag. Iframe tag in HTML is used to embed another HTML document within the current document. This embedded document can be another web page, a video, a map, or any other content that can be displayed in a web browser. So iframe, uh, in the iframe frame, there is attribute sr source. Attributes specify the URL of the document to be embedded. Here I pasted the URL, and in the iframe we can also use the width and height attribute, and there is also frame border. A value of 0 means no border and 1 means a border will be displayed. So that's it for the lecture. I'll see you in the next lecture. Thank you.